existence, knowledge and bliss. That is Sat Chit and Ananda. Then we went into how Swami talked about the Atma. So here I thought this verse from chapter 2, verse 29 was a bit it was relevant here. So Ascharyavat pashyati kaschit enam, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah, Ascharyavat chainam anyah shrunoti, Shrutvapienam Veda na Chaiva Kaschit. So here what Swami says is Ascharyavat is like as amazing as that, and Pashyati is Pashyati is see, Kaschit is someone, Enam refers to this soul, that is this refers to this soul. So Swami says someone sees this soul as something amazing, then Vadati Tata Eva Cha. Again, same thing. Swami says, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah. So, others talk about this as amazing. Someone sees it as amazing. Another person talks about it as amazing. And Ascharyavat cha enam anyah shrunoti. So, some other people listen to it as amazing. But Shrutvapi enam Veda na chaiva kaschit. So, some people, Shrutvapi, that is after hearing also, they don't understand. That is na chaiva Veda na chaiva kaschit. That is, some people don't even understand. Veda is understand. So Swami says some people see it as amazing, some people describe it as amazing, and some people hear of the soul as amazing, while others, even though they hear about it, they cannot understand it at all. So then Sairam, we I think I'm not presenting. Just a minute, Sairam. Okay, we have quite a bit of topics in chapter 15. We have the discussion on action. Then we go into material creation, demigods. Then the Lord of the Yajnas, or the Lord of the sacrifice. Then we go into the essence of the Gita on the second half. Then how we should practice to secure the thought of Om at the last moment of life. So here, how Swami talked about in a previous chapter that the very reason for our existence is contemplation on God. We have to contemplate on God every moment of our life. So here the same kind of a refrain comes in the second half of the chapter. We'll discuss the first half up till the Lord of the sacrifice today, Sairam. So here where Swami was just explaining about Sat Chit and Ananda, then Arjuna is praying that the third subject, karma, should be fully explained to him. That whatever Swami gave an intro into that, he wants the full explanation. So Krishna was quite ready to oblige him. He began, Arjuna, the limitation that is necessary for the creation, fostering and destruction of beings is what that is called karma. The movable and immovable are all beings. Why? The very act of the very resolution for creation is karma. The very first, which still activates all everywhere, this entire universe and all the movements and agitations and activities in it are the direct consequence of primal action, karma, my divine will, sankalpa. So here Swami says that that which is required for the creation, fostering and destruction of every being is whatever that is called karma. So the immovable becomes movable through karma, and it is a direct consequence of his divine sankalpa. Then Swami says, as long as my resolution lasts, the stream of action will flow along. It can never go dry as long as I do not will it. All that you do to get drawn into this flood, why? You are but currents in this rush, or ripples or waves. My will has prompted all action, karma. So action done in consonance with my will becomes part of me. So here Swami gives the explanation as how the stream keeps flowing. Similarly, the stream of action also keeps flowing along with the resolution. So when as long as Swami wills, the stream of action will never stop. So what Swami says is, the only thing we can do is we try to get drawn into this flood, and as long as we don't go against his will, it becomes part of his will. But if we go against it, then we'll have to suffer against it. Then Swami says, karma is of my nature. I manifest myself in action, said Krishna, to the great consternation of Arjuna. He made it clear that all action is divine, of his essence. It is enough if you know that Brahman, the universe, Atma, the individual, and Karma are all three me. Knowledge of this will confer release. You need not worry about the rest, said Krishna, as if he wanted to avoid further discussion. Evidently, Krishna wanted to take the chariot into the ranks of the foes and start the conflict, for time was flying fast. But Arjuna was adamant. He was different. Ordinary people would not have argued even so long with Krishna. When Krishna says, don't worry about the rest, one should stop worrying. But Arjuna was the right interrogator for Krishna, and Krishna was the right teacher for Arjuna. In fact, they are man God, Nara Narayana, aren't they? Hence the appropriateness, interest, and value of this dialogue. So here again, Krishna says that action is of his nature, and he says it is only enough if you know that all the three, that is Brahman, Atma, and Karma, all three are just my aspects. So this knowledge will give you the release from everything. But you, so he's impatient that he wants to go into the war, but Arjuna is not like that. Even all of us are like Arjuna. We want to look into more and more of the truth. That's why we are still trying to find out the reality from different scriptures, different books, and in different ways. We are trying to reach the truth. So similarly, that's what Swami says, that Arjuna is not the kind of person who gives up. So he keeps asking Krishna, saying that no, now is not the time to fight. I need to know about this. And Swami says that is why they are Nara and Narayana, and that is why this whole dialogue is very significant. Then Arjuna was not content to leave the matter at that. He did not accept Krishna's assurance. Tell me about the remaining three also, O Lord, he pleaded. Save me from the coils of doubt, he prayed. Destroy the darkness and reveal your reality to me, he insisted. At this, Krishna melted a little. He fondly stroked Arjuna's back and replied, do not grieve. I shall tell you all. This perishable creation, Adi Bhuta, about which I mentioned, is not such a formidable tangle. It is quite within the reach of all. Everything that declines and dies, everything that has form and name, is included in this perishable creation. In other words, the whole perishable creation is lower nature. All these embodied things on this side and on the other and everywhere are this whole perishable creation. In spite of this, they aren't different from me, said Krishna, pausing meaningfully. He did not continue the exposition. So here again, we are going into the next topic, that is from karma. Swami transitions beautifully into the material creation aspect of the discussion. So when Arjuna asks, please continue along with you mentioned three more things. Please continue in the same reign. Please go and explain to me about the material creation and the demigods. So Swami says, Adi Bhuta is not something that is formidable. So it is within the reach of everyone. And everything that is in existence, everything that we are able to see, everything that is tangible, everything that can decline and die, all are part of this material creation. And Swami says this is of lower nature, and they are the perishable creation, but still they are not something that is different from him, which is imperishable. So here Swami passes, so he is not continuing. So the ways of the Lord are only known to him. No one else can make their meanings and purpose. Trying to unravel them is a fruitless task. They are not different from me. At these words, Arjuna was petrified with surprise. His head became heavy with doubt. His intelligence was befogged. His conviction was shaken. Doubts multiplied in his brain in this frightening sequence. Why did he suffer like this? What was the reason for all this upset? So here again, Arjuna goes through one more doubt, because he's again, when Swami says, these are not different from me, it is like Swami is saying, he's giving an explanation of everything about Adi Bhuta, and he's saying they are same as me. So Arjuna is completely, he is shocked, and he stops at this point. So then Swami, after declaring, I am existence, knowledge, bliss, which is Satchit Ananda, the truth, eternity, entity, I am unaffected by death, decline, or destruction. Krishna made the devastating admission that he was also the temporary, the transitional, destructible body. This was the cause of all the confusion in Arjuna's brain. Anyone would be confounded by doubt at these conflicting statements. Krishna laughed as he saw Arjuna's plight. So here again, after giving such an explanation about Satchit Ananda and the truth and that is the material and the spiritual knowledge, and talking about how he is not affected by any kind of decline or destruction, and he also gave the characteristics of the Atma and everything. Now Swami says, I am also part of the material creation. That's what made Arjuna completely shocked and out of words, that Arjuna has no more, he has nothing more to say after this. So he's just blindly shocked and he's looking at Krishna in bewilderment. So then Krishna is smiling gently and he continues. Since he had no intention of causing delay, and since he knew the source of Arjuna's dilemma, Krishna immediately set about resolving the doubt. Arjuna, why do you feel lost? You are confounded because I said that I am the short-lived body too, aren't you? Common folk will be shocked on hearing this. Their reaction will be to reject the idea, for it is difficult to reconcile the two. This body, which is temporary, transitional, and transient, has affinity with me, for I am the base from which it springs. Without me, the body can never be. This will become clear to you with a summary of its origin. Listen to the story of the origins of the body, which clarifies the mystery. So here Krishna goes further into the material creation, where he goes into the origins of the body. So the body is primarily indebted for its emergence to the food that the parents consume, isn't it? Where did that food come from? From the earth element, the grains and other materials that grew on the earth. And the earth element, it evolved from the water element. Tracing back, we find that water emerged from fire element, fire from air, and air from ether, and ether from the shadow or delusion, Maya of Godhead. That shadow is merely my apparel. My apparel, which I willed and folded around me, became ether. The ether got transformed into air. Air changed into the fire element. The fire element into water. The water became earth. Earth grew grains of food, and the food developed into the body. So it is clear, isn't it, that the body is also myself. Why doubt this? So here Krishna gives a beautiful explanation on how the body came into existence. He says that the body came from food, and again the food came from earth, earth came from the water, water came from fire, and fire came from ether, and ether came from Maya, which is just the outfit of the Lord, the clothing that the Lord wears. So which the Lord willed to exist, and he created Maya basically. So everything came from him. So why is not that also himself? That's why Swami says even the material world, that is the material creation, is also just a tiny aspect of the Lord. So he breaks Arjuna's confusion in just one beautiful explanation. So he says, is this clear, Arjuna? I am as much demigod as I am the material creation. I am as much as these two as I am Brahman, soul, and karma. They are all fully divine. Now for the next entity, the Lord of the selfless ritual sacrifice, Adi Yajna, that is also me. Just a minute, Saira. So, yeah, that is also me. This entity consumes joy and grief, the results of the multifarious actions in which beings are involved. I, the Lord of the sacrifice, am the recipient of the sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell through the five senses in all beings. I am not only the entity responsible for action, I am also the entity for which that action is gone through, the recipient of the fruits. I am the benefactor as well as the beneficiary. So here Lord continues to say that he is the demigod as much as he is the material creation. He is also the supreme Brahman. He is the super soul. He is the soul, and he is also karma. Then he says, all these divine aspects and all the lower aspects, everything belong to me, and I am equally like I'm not more Brahman or less like material creation. I am equally everything is what Swami says. Then he says that he is the Lord of the selfless ritual sacrifice, and he says that every action that goes through in the material universe, all that and everything that comes out of those actions, like joy, grief, and all the continual actions which are caused by those actions, and everything belongs to only him and only him. And then he is the recipient of also the touch, the sound, the sight, and all the sensual reactions that we get. That also goes to the Lord, and he's the only cause of action, and he's also the person who takes the results of the action as well. He is the benefactor as well as the beneficiary. So then he says, of course, Krishna was able to open Arjuna's eyes and clarify this truth, this fact of his being the Lord of the sacrifice, Adi Yajna. but ordinary intellects may not be able to grasp its implications. It will be easy if we take some illustrations from life. When you want a breeze, you switch on the fan. When you want a light, you switch on the lamp, and when you want to cook, you light the stove. When you want to address a vast audience, you fix up a mic and loudspeakers and switch them on. Or if you require printing, you operate the press with a switch. Consider these as separate operations and you'll notice that they are unrelated to one another. Light and air, heat and sound are unrelated. They are distinct in every way, it would seem. But for all these, the motivator, karta, is the same, the electric current. The expressions, the manifestations may be different, but the basis, the inspiration, the latent potency, the base is the same. So here Swami gives an example of electricity, how that electricity makes everything move. Like if you want fan, if you want breeze, we switch on the fan, and if you want light, we switch on the tube light and all those things. So same way, the motivation, the will for everything, that is the same. And Swami also says that he is the Adi Yajna, or the Lord of the sacrifice, and so the ordinary intellects will not be able to grasp the implication of that. So he says that so every cause and every effect is him, and it also belongs to him. Then I think with this, the third topic, that is the demigods and the Lord of the sacrifice, concludes, Sairam. So here the brief summary of this these three topics is: first, Swami talks about action, where he says that every action that happens is directly his divine will. So he gives the example of the stream, where we can travel along with the stream, but we cannot go against it. So if we go along with it, we are in accordance with the will. And then Swami talks about how ordinary people will not be able to grasp the essence of action. Then we go into how Arjuna is a bit confused, and he wants Lord Krishna to continue, but Lord Krishna actually wants to no longer give up a further explanation, as it is getting late. Then he goes into the creation aspect when Arjuna insists. So he talks about Adi Bhuta, or the creation. So that is everything that is everything that is tangible or visible is just part of the material creation. And Swami also says that he is also part of, they are not different from him, and they are also an aspect of him. Then Swami gives an explanation when Arjuna is confused. He says that if you look at how the body is created, then that is the way you can understand me. So he says that the body comes from the elements that is the five elements. So the five elements are basically part of Maya. So Maya is created by him. So he's also an aspect of the material creation as well. And as much as he's part of the material creation, he's also karma, he's also Brahman, and he's also the individual soul, or Jivatma. Then Swami says, all these three, I'm equally present in all these four aspects of me. Then he says that he's also the Adi Yajna, or the Lord of sacrifice. Then he says he's also the enjoyer of actions, and he's also the cause of actions. And I think with that, the three topics of today conclude, Sairam. I think we can have a discussion, if possible, for today. Please let me know if we have any observations or any feedback, Sairam.
Yeah, the verse which I am explaining, something related only, Sai Swarup, that is called the Pancha Tanmatra. Today's 9th chapter, verse 7 and 8 are related to whatever you explained, the five elements and how the body created and how it merged into the Lord only.
Oh, okay, Aunty.
Okay.
If no one continues, I mean, if no if anything is not there to discuss, then I think we can move on
Yeah.
to.
Okay. So continuing with chapter 9, Raja Vidya, Vidya Yoga, and here I'm explaining shloka number 7. Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya Prakurtim Yanti Mamikam Kalpakshaye Punastani Kalpadau Visujamyaham. So I'll repeat again. Sarva bhutani kaunteya prakrutim yanti mamikam kalpakshaya punastani kalpadau visujamyaham. So what if we look at the word by word meaning, Sarva bhutani means all living beings. Kaunteya means Arjuna of the sun. Arjuna, the son of Kunti. Prakriti means primordial material. Prakriti means nature, we can say. And Yanti means merge. Mamikam means my. Kalpakshaya means at the end of Kalpa. Puna means again. Tani means them. Kalpadau means at the beginning of Kalpa. Visrujami means manifest. Aham means I. And the Prakriti means again the material energy. So here what Lord Shri Krishna is saying, Sarva Bhutani means at the end of one Kalpa, all living beings merge into my in me only. So he is saying that one. Shri Krishna explained in the last few verses that all living beings dwell in him only. So for in this statement, we get a doubt that so when the Shiva creates, we know that Lord Shiva creates Brahma is the sustainer and the Lord Vishnu, he is the creator and he is the destroyer. Shiva is the destroyer and Brahma is the sustainer. So we get the question when Lord Shiva destroys and the world is recreated, how it happens and where all the living beings, living, non-living things goes. We get a doubt. So that is explained in this verse. So he is saying that as you explained, what the pancha wait, I'll explain. The Pancha Mahabhuta, Pancha Mahabhuta merge into Pancha Tanmatras, then that Tanmatras merge into the Ahankara, and Ahankara merge into Mana. So here he is explaining how it goes. We can compare with it with a dream. So the dreamer dreams the dreams. At the end of dream, he wakes up. So it is like we can compare with the projector also. Projector through projector we view the movie, and where it is stopped, again it will start again from there only. So God is like the projector. We can compare with the projector. He releases everything when it goes back to him only, and again it starts with where we stopped. So that is what when the destruction happened, everything goes and merges with him only, and again it is recreated. So when it merges kalpa, we are referring kalpa. Kalpa means 100 year. That is a long duration. Brahma's lifespan is 100 years. Even Brahma will be recreated. Brahma's lifespan is 100 years, which is equal to 311 trillion and 40 billion Earth year. So when he completes his lifespan, Brahma, that is called as Kalpa. Kalpa, at the end of Kalpa, again Brahma is also created, and everything is recreated. So here Kalpakshaya, Kalpadau means at the end of Kalpakshaya means at the end of Kalpa. Kalpadau means when at the beginning of the Kalpa. Again, world is recreated. Okay, at that time, all souls within material, all the living beings and material creation, everything goes and merges in the God at the end of the Kalpaksha. That when Brahma completes 100 years lifespan, And again, at the beginning, everything where it is stopped, it will start from there only. It is like projector, as I said. It is a bit difficult. Again, the recreation happens like we told that the steps are that the Pancha Mahabhuta merge into the Pancha Tanmatras, and the Tanmatras merge into Ahankara, and Ahankara merge into Mahan. The process creation of is reverse. Yeah, yeah. Wait. Reverse. At the end, everything merges into Prakriti, and it will start from the Prakriti only, the creation. The sequence is Prakriti, Mahan, Ahankara, Pancha, Tanmatra, and Pancha Mahabhuta. Okay, then the souls that were lying in the state of suspended animation with only casual bodies, again, it will be recreated. So this is what about this verse 7. Verse 8 also I will read it out. Prakrutim. Wait, I'll just play and read it.
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम् कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम् प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृत्स्नम् अवशं प्रकृते वशात्.
Okay, in the Swami Mukundananda site, they have merged 7th and 8th verse. In some sites, they have given 7th and 8th separately. Next time, I'll take up the verse 8. The summary is creation and process. They have given the step, the world creation and the world destruction, how it happens and where it goes, when everything, all the souls, material, where it goes. That is what is given in this verse. Which you explained similar to, it was similar to this, right? It was in fact, it was in more detail, Sai Swarup. Anyone would like to add anything to this?
Sai Ram.
Yes, uncle, we can hear you.
Okay. Let us read verse 7 or shloka 7. Sarva bhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpadau visrijamyaham. Actually, the kalpakshaye is at the end of the kalpa. Kalpadau, adau is not kalpadau. It is adau means the beginning. So
Okay.
kalpadau is the beginning of the kalpa. So kalpadau is beginning, adau is beginning, kshaye is the end. Kalpakshaye. So what Sri Krishna is emphasizing here is these kalpas, one cycle of yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. That one cycle is estimated to be 4.3 million years. And then after that cycle is this Pralaya, which Sri Krishna says it has the start and the beginning from me. So Kalpadau Kalpakshaye. Visirjamyaham is releasing it from him. So Srijami, create, Srijami, I just release it. So this we might remember or recollect in Sankhya Yogam, chapter 2, when Sri Krishna told about those. I also used to project that Atma dot. I think it was a Word document where he shows that he, as the Purusha, has the Prakriti, the nature. From then is the universe, Mahat, and then the Ahankara, and then the three gunas, and then the Pancha Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Tanmatra, and Pancha Maha Bhutas. So that is the order of the creation, and he absorbs it back as.
Sai Rudram, Mani uncle, can you repeat that order?
I dwelt very in great detail and even showed that chart. And this is in chapter 2, Sankhya Yogam.
Okay.
When Sri Krishna as the Purusha or the Atma releases the Prakriti from which the Mahat or the universe is released, is created, from where the Ahankara, Manobuddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, those four entities are simultaneously evolved. And then the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, followed by the Pancha Jnanendriyas, 5 knowledge senses, Pancha Karmendriyas, 5 working senses, and Pancha Tanmatras, the 5 abstract qualities of matter, and finally Pancha Mahabhuta, that without which we have no existence. So this is the order of the release from him and reabsorption into him at the time of Pralaya or the Kalpakshaya, that is at the end of Kalpa. So like this, he goes from one Kalpam to next Kalpam, and that's the order of the creation and dissolution and reabsorption, and this cycle repeats itself at the will of the Purusha. So I think we should carefully register this. Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya. So he talks about all the beings, that is, the beings of creation and living, etc. Prakritim yanti mamikam. So this the Prakriti is referring to the nature, his nature, go into my nature at the end of a kalpa. So he is unaffected by all these happenings, creation, dissolution, and recreation, etc. So, Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya, Prakritim Yanti Mamikam, they get back to me, my Prakriti, my nature. Kalpakshaye Punastani, that is at the end of the Kalpa, or the Kalpam, as I explained, consisting of one cycle of all the yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So, at the end of the Kalpa, Kalpakshaye Punastani means Punaha Tani, that is again I recreate them. Kalpadav at the beginning of Kalpa, Visrijami, send forth or release. So that's the understanding of the verse or shloka 7. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, uncle, thank you. I'll refer the
Most
Sankhya Yoga.
welcome. I'm sure do you remember? I don't know when I was presenting in the Gita Yajnam in our Bhagavad Gita study circle, just like yourself. I went on chapter 2, is Sankhya Yogam, and during that time, the first.
You referred tree and all that one, uncle? Tree, Bodhi tree.
I didn't understand you.
The tilted tree and all, it was in second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. Bodhi.
See, second chapter, if you understand, in the main scope of the second chapter is Krishna comes and gives his total understanding of knowledge of who he is. That is Sankhyam. So that is the idea of Sankhya Yogam. So during that presentation, I had, in fact, I think Sri Kumar used to project that chart. I used to call it as atma.doc, atma.doc. It's a Word document in which I had shown the several steps of what the Purusha is, what constitutes Purusha. That is Purusha, Prakriti, Mahat, the universe, then Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, and then the three gunas, and then the table of these pancha, whatever I told you, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Tanmatra, and Mahabhuta. So that is one thing that I would request you in all humility and others to refresh that information.
Sure, uncle. Thank you.
Yeah, if you need any further, we can do it one-on-one also, separately, offline.
I think if no questions, we'll tell Shanti Shanti and conclude. Sai Swarup, are you there?
Yes, yes, Shanti. I think we can. You can say Shanti if we can wait for one more minute and we can see if you want, and we can conclude.
Yeah, sure.
Sign up, sign up.
Maniji,
Kanji,
I am Arunachalam. I have a small, that is, in Sankhya Yoga, actually Arjuna was hesitant in fighting with his Acharya and Bhishma, no? And Krishna was telling him how to, what is the duties of the king to fight against the evil persons who are all. No? Is it correct?
I am here. Yeah.
Am I correct, sir?
So Sankhya Yoga is
Sankhya
about
Yoga, when he was
Kshatriyans.
hesitant in fighting with his Bhishma and others, what are the duties of Arjuna? And he is not going to kill those because Atma is he is going to kill only the physical bodies of the Acharyas and Ide. Atma will have its own and it will find another place. So another it will. I don't. That's what the theory.
You know, if I could request you in all humility, politeness, and obedience, this is a very good question
Yeah,
to
yeah.
ask TGK uncle, which brings in Bhagavatam
Ah,
very much into focus. Okay,
okay, okay.
and there he will bring in this Uttarayanam, Ratha Saptami, and other concepts as Kshatriya or and such dharmas. All of them, they come under the what shall I say, under the concept, or it is dwelt in details in Mahabharatam or Mahabhagavatam. Okay, Bhagavatam. What Bhagavad Gita is more of user's manual as to how to conduct oneself in life through an understanding of what life is. That's what Sankhya Yogam, etc., refers to. So I hope I brought out the separation or distinction between these, namely Bhagavad Gita as a subset of Mahabharatam, and what you are referring to as a part of Bhagavatam, right?
Okay. Okay.
So bring it up in TGK uncle's study circle.
Okay. Okay, Ji.
Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
If no questions, I'll just chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sai Ram to all.
Sairam, everyone. Sairam. Sairam, everyone.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sairam, uncle. Sairam. Sairam.